All right. Good afternoon, Knicks Nation. Welcome to a new edition of Knicks Dreams. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and we have, our Knicks who are scheduled to play against the Magic. We're going to be covering the previous game, obviously the game that they played and won against Boston. And then, of course, we'll chop it up a little bit on that side. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of trades, and then ultimately we'll we'll focus on the Magic game. And as a result of that, now I want to introduce my fellow co-host. We have Mr. Bill Stradamus in the house.
Salute, salute.
And we have Dream in the house as well. So, I'm going to get started right away. I just want to chop it up. I'm going to ask Bill Stradamus to give us his take on what he thought about the Knicks against the Celtics.
Well, if anyone saw our show prior to this, I can safely say that all of us were probably in shock. And
what's up, y'all?
I'm still in shock because that outcome from beginning to end was not expected. Well, actually, it was expected, but it was expected in reverse.
Yes.
Based on all of our feelings. Here he goes, Henry 2.0. What's up, my boy?
I'm doing well, man. I'm on the road.
All right.
Coming back from what is this town, man?
Uh-oh.
This is Portchester? Yeah, Portchester. That's one of my other kids lives.
Okay. All right.
I was going to just, I had to come down here and drop my wife off. And I figured I'd get online, man. Shit.
Well, we're live.
We live. Yeah, like I was saying, just plain shock, it seemed like everyone played well. So I have no real complaints about anything, except for one thing. I felt that there were certain parts of the game where I saw Mitch was in there and he seemed to be hobbling. And I think Tibbs should have seen that and, just taken him out, just to save him. But other than that, I have no complaints. I'm sure you guys are going to point out certain things that I probably just forgot about because I'm so elated with the win. And with that being said, I'm going to drop it immediately under me to my man Dream.
Dream, you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. Hey, Knicks Nation. Obviously, we're all happy, pleasantly surprised at the performance last night. I think some of the things we want to see from this team on a regular basis, we actually got to see from them yesterday. They jumped out on this team in the first and third quarters, and that was very important, especially, due to how we've been performing in those quarters in the last couple of games in those losses. So it was nice to come off a 5-game losing streak, or skid, I should say, and, basically pull the brakes on that. We had some more guys play this week. They shot horrendously. Everybody knows that. Notably, 29% from the field on 84 shots. So they got a whole bunch of shots up, but they just were not making any.
Yeah, there was
no combination of defense and good luck on our part and bad luck on their part with the shooting, with the shots dropping. They also shot 15% from 3-point land, 7 for 46. So I thought that was a big thing that probably was the major factor contributing to such large lead and the blowout that we ended up having in the end. We had 11 steals and 7 blocks, and we finally got not a whole bunch, but a few fast break points. 7 fast break points. It means that we were active and looking to break. So that's also good. The rebounds was a plus 10. And really what that turned out to be was our defensive rebounding. We were not only were they missing, but we were grabbing the rebounds right away to not give them second chance possessions. So that was important for us. They only had 2 guys in double figures. Brown got off, and the other guy that got off was Smart, and he didn't really get off. He got 10 points.
I think. 10.
Yeah, 10 points. So that was, it really shows what we can do if we really focus on the defensive end and use our guys actively. 29 points from Quickly and Obi Toppin combined, and 4 for 8 from 3-point land. So these guys are starting to shape, fall into shape, what they're going to be in our offense. Obi's finally getting a little bit of more consistent run to get his legs under him. I like the fact that he shot 5 for 8. That's very good. He's not taking a lot, but he's making a good, decent amount. So he's staying involved in the game, but not trying to overextend his welcome as far as like just getting into the rhythm of the game. Quickly, another 21 minutes, 17 points, and 8 assists. My man, just keep that up. Keep that flow going. That's a nice way to develop into a star here in New York. That's what we're looking for. Be involved in the game, but don't try to take over the game for yourself. And my last point, the league tried to bury us on these Sunday games, man. I don't know if you realize that or not. I went to our schedule, and they're like, every time there's a Sunday game, it's a tough opponent. But so far, we beat the Bucks, we got beat by the Nuggets, and we beat the Celtics. And our next 2 Sunday games are actually this month against the Blazers and the Clippers to end. So, I'm pleasantly surprised as far as that, because I don't know if you guys felt this way or have noticed in the past years, Sundays have killed us. Those afternoon games, our guys don't come ready to play. They got no legs, and they're not interested in playing on Sundays. So this is a nice turnaround, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I will pass it through the legs, shimmy around the back, why not, and kick it real quick. So Pops, 2.0.
All right. As I said before, and I'll say it again, the highs are going to be high and the lows are going to be low. We come out of 5 losses in a row to get this fantastic win against the arch enemies, the Boston Celtics. I don't care whether Jason Tatum was playing or not playing. I don't care if they missed quadrillion threes. It was a combination of good defense or poor offense. I don't care. The win is a win. I'm just happy for the boys, I keep saying that the point guard of the future is right there on that bench. He's outperforming everybody whenever he's on the floor. So let's stop this nonsense. And let's give him a few more minutes. It was like 19 points in 21 minutes. So he's effective and efficient. Take it away, Santana. I'm on the road, so I can't be talking too much.
No problem. I think, I was pleasantly surprised that they came out and they won that game. We all predicted that they would not win. There were a few assumptions there in terms of why, but nonetheless, they pleasantly surprised me, and I know the rest of our co-hosts. I feel that the difference obviously was they came out to play defense. They set the tone defensively, and then offensively things just clicked. Everything fell into place. Guys contributed across the board. There wasn't too many, negatives that we can discuss. I know we can nitpick here and there, and of course we will. That comes with the territory. That's an opportunity for growth. That's an opportunity for improvement, and there's always room for improvement. So, I think where I was most impressed in terms of quickly is not necessarily that he scored, because it's pretty obvious that he can score, but more so that he gave 8 dimes. You know what I mean? That he was able to pass the ball and get other people involved. That's more important, because to me, he comes across as a score first, point guard. And I'm not knocking him, but I'm just saying, you want to make sure that you get your teammates involved. And in every game prior to yesterday's game, he wasn't getting a lot of assists. He was getting maybe 2 to 3 assists a game.
Right.
And for a point guard, you really need to up your numbers in terms of point assists. So I did enjoy. In terms of the Riddler, the Riddler played a more controlled game, and he shot 4 threes. He made 2 of them. The 2 that he made, he was square with the basket. And therefore, it seemed like the shot, when it left his hand, looked good and it went in. So hopefully he'll build from that, because if he does that, then he'll be a solid contributor to this team. Now the thing is, you know, that I hope that he takes out of this is his approach, because he got some rebounds, he got a few assists, he was playing defense, so he wasn't putting all this pressure on himself to have to score, especially from the perimeter, because that's something that he still needs to work on. So hopefully he'll be able to do that. But what I like about his game in particular was he only took 4 threes, as opposed to shooting threes and threes and threes until you think you're going to make them. And because you work hard, it's all good. Nah. That's not good. That's not good. That's bad. You know what I mean? So
right.
If anything, keep it under control. 4 to 5 shots from 3, and work your mid-range game. You're going to the basket game, your free throws, your rebound, your assists. There's a lot of ways you could contribute to in a game. So I think yesterday was a good, this is maybe his 3rd game of the season that he's played and put up good, solid numbers like that across the board. And that's what should be his building block. Don't do what doesn't work for you, like when you were shooting 2 for 21 threes.
Right.
I mean, come on, don't show me that you're stubborn. That tells me that you're not making adjustments. You're sticking to it because you think you're gonna make. Nah, brother. Take a step back. There's other parts of the game. So, I have to give him credit. He did his thing yesterday. Now let's see if he could do it consecutive nights. You know what I'm saying? Or consecutive games. And then, then we could start having faith in him, or at least I would have more faith in him in being, one of our main options on the team. Right now, he hasn't achieved that in my book, but he has the potential to. Okay. Then in terms of Obi, the thing with Obi, he did his thing. I can't knock him, but I still see him coming off the bench cold, shooting threes. And I don't like that. I like, you come in inside out. You know what I'm saying? Come inside out, get a few easy buckets, get a steal, a breakaway, layup, alley-oop, do a little pick and roll to the basket, slash, get the ball, finish at the rim, take it out to the mid, maybe do a little post up in the low post, kick it back out to the 3-point line, and then shoot your 3. But I'll let him get away with it for now, because he didn't go crazy. But just I want to make sure that his approach is more, focused, not just shooting threes, because everybody in the NBA is shooting threes. That doesn't mean you're gonna make them all. So I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna swing the ball back to Bill Stradamus so that you could do your thing.
I agree with that. With what you were saying about Obi. He needs to come in and feel the game out first before just launching the threes, because that's the same thing that Knox does, or sometimes still, but he used to do that, much more than he does now, for lack of a better way to put it. I really, really like the fact that he felt comfortable in there, because if you notice they gave him the ball a couple of times where he just went one-on-one. I was like, oh, okay, that's, I don't mind seeing that. He wasn't successful, but then another thing, I think that lob from Quick, that keeps him in the game too, to let him know, listen, you're a 4, you're not a 3 or a 2, so you need to, come a little closer to the basket. I'll reward you. I'll hit you here and there with that, and then we'll still let you do your one-on-one thing every now and then, when the situation presented. So I think he played still well and within himself, but I'm still harping on the fact I think that it's time to put Quick in the starting lineup. I think it's just time to put him in the starting lineup, and whatever the outcome is, remember, he has a free season. He has a season where there's no great expectations. So therefore, why wait? It's it seems to be inevitable. So why don't you just pull the trigger right now, and if it's not working to your satisfaction, you can always switch it back over. But I think it's time to put quickly in a start, and I think that'll avoid the repeated getting down big early and having to climb back, which that didn't happen in the Boston game. But I think it's just obvious that quickly needs to be starting now. Other than that, we're still waiting on what's his name, Burks, to come back, and I'm interested to see how that's gonna be with the lineup. I'm guessing that Bullock comes out of the starting lineup, and that's another thing. If in the tight games, Bullock can't be in there, even though his defense is good. When it comes to the offensive end, he seems to play a little panicky and rushed, and he makes bad decisions, like he made in the game before last. Coming down the stretch. Let's see. RJ played, like you said, within himself. He didn't take a whole bunch of threes, and he did other things. He rebounded. He played pretty good D, and he played within the team concept. And like you also said, we got to see if he's able to replicate these games, on a back-to-back basis or on a consistent basis. He's been very shaky and inconsistent, and I messed up by even calling him what I called him, and I should have called him the R, because even though he had a good game, he's not getting his name. He's not getting the J back. He still hasn't proved that he has a consistent J. So my bad. Mitch played well, but he got hurt. How did he get hurt? Testing a 3-pointer. That's how he hurt himself, right? So he has to be careful, pick and choose with regard to doing those type of things. And when he's actually hurt and still in pain, when the coach calls him to go back in the game, he has to let the coach know, listen, I'm still feeling a little hobbled, because it was a period in the game. And I think I mentioned it on the chat. I was like, why does he have him in there? He was obviously hobbled. There was something going on with his right ankle, I believe. And he's jumping up and he's contesting shots still. And he's trying to come down on one foot, and he's falling a lot and all of that. And he just seemed to be off balance. So that one is on coach though. And Julius did what Julius does. And so, I have no big complaints. But overall, my biggest complaint are still the turnovers. Making very silly and turnovers at inopportune times. Although during that game, we just made the turnovers, but it didn't hurt us as bad because of the way they played. They were horrible. Their shooting was horrible, and our defense contributed to that. But they were just. But overall, I'll give us a B+ on that one, on the everything outcome included. Even though we won by 30, I'm not going to give them more than that. I'll give them a B+ for that. And with that being said, there's 2.0 got his hands on 10-2. If so, I'm gonna pass it over to you, Henry.
He's muted. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but
there you go.
Mic on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm muted, man.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm in now, right?
Yeah, yes. You're good.
Yeah. I just wanted to add that there's this statistic where they test.
Okay, we lost him. Go ahead, Dream.
No problem. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. He fumbled it, but I'll pick it up and dunk it. Don't worry about it. I got young legs. So I wanted to talk about the fact that Tibbs played 13 guys. He's been playing 8, mostly because of injuries and stuff like that, and guys earning time. So, and then last 2 games he played 10, and now he's played 13 to match all the bodies that were coming off the floor. So that was able to help us. And getting these guys time is another thing, but keeping them fresh. The guys that he plays all the time, those 8 guys, that, so they don't run ragged. It's good to catch 2 and 3 minutes from here and there from other guys. Austin Rivers still needs to give us more than 0 points. That's not acceptable from him. Even in a 30-point win, where did you go? You can't, we need you to be consistent at something. 10 points, 15 points, something. You know what I'm saying? But, because you went from being a starter to now a backline bench player, like that doesn't work for us. We need a little bit more from you. As far as the Obi stuff, I agree about the 3-point shooting. He only shot 8 shots and 4 of them were threes. So we need to reel that in a little bit. Maybe 2 of the 8 could be threes. That's fine. He did make 2 of the 4. That's okay. But we it's not what we expected when we drafted him. I think as fans, we expect him because he's so big, the body. Go in there and get us some points, and then you could step out to the outside because you have that in your game. More of like a Randall, like we're trying to groom him to be our next Randall because if we don't sign Randall, that's the slot he's sliding into. So he needs to be able to do some of those things consistently. Pass, body, shoot, something, So as we see more of him, we'll get more of him, but he does have a guard's game inside a big man's body, so that's going to seem a little awkward to us, but it shouldn't because we have that in Randall also. But we want a little bit more physicality from a guy like Obi Toppin. That's all I'm looking for from him. As far as the Riddler, his development, I'm going to give him this year solely on this. When Brooklyn signed Steve Nash is the Riddler's godfather. Are we all aware of that? So he's now they're basically borough to borough. So I think he'll get some natural time just to spend with him shooting. And we all know Steve Nash was one of the most pure shooters that we've seen in the game, especially of the last 20 years or something like that. So I feel like that may help in spending time just practicing shooting, getting tips from him. He should have been doing it all the time, but I think the proximity of being close, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and wherever they are, living in the city, I think that may help as far as next year's development with his shot, solely on his shot. But this year he needs to just stay consistent with getting in the groove of the same thing with Obi. Just be physical, use your skills that you do have. When some of our shooting comes back and starts to stretch the floor, then you take advantage of your driving game. And that's what we expect from him until our shooting gets back. And outside of that, I think we talked about it earlier. There's not too much you can really dive into too much, when you get these blowout wins because something went horribly wrong on one side and something went horribly, amazingly right on our side, So we had that in this game when we didn't, with all the things that we expected and we talked about, we just all probably went home after halftime and ripped up all our papers and just threw it in the air, right? It was like, that's all my notes. They are not even relevant, none of them. So aside from like picking a blowout, but we all had the blowout going the other way. So, pleasantly surprised and eagerly waiting to see if this carries over into today because yesterday is not going to matter unless we carry that right into today's game and snatch that one also, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. Because I had to steal the ball from my own player and dunk it in the back to him after the timeout. 2.0, take it away. No?
He's having problems with his phone.
He's out there still. So I toss it back up top to Santana. No problem.
All right, I'm gonna mute Henry's mic
Can I say
until.
something before I get dropped?
Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Listen,
You in?
I was saying that we played like the Celtics and they played like the Knicks.
Yeah.
As far as Obi goes, man, he is doing fantastic. Every time I see him on the floor, I see improvement. I see a better player. I see what I was hoping that we were going to get when we drafted him. And, the sky's the limit for this kid, man. He's making the damn three. So why are you cutting him? I'm throwing up the three. And he's dunking. He's going to the basket. He's playing defense. What else do you want from the kid, man? Pass it on to Santana.
Okay.
That was a 20 seconds.
Drop the 20-second bomb on us.
20 seconds.
Look, in terms of Obi, he had a very good game again. But remember, yesterday he was on. There are times where he comes in, he's not on. And when he's off, you don't want him to rely on his three all the time. You want him to rely on the other aspects of his game that he does have, which is he's able to go to the basket, he's able to post up, he's got a full repertoire. He's not a one-dimensional player, at least offensively. So that's all I'm saying. Not saying that he didn't do his thing yesterday. He did. It's just a matter of, okay, it's good. Let's just, make sure that we balance it out. Because then not every time that you step on the floor, you're gonna be hitting your threes. That's just reality, man. That's just keeping it real. You know what I mean? So that's what I got to say about that. That being said, I think overall, we can't. I would say, it's not. We're in a better place than we thought probably that we would be, because right now we're 6-8, correct?
Yeah.
6-8. So we're only 2 games under 500. We're right there. I mean, I expect 500, at the best for our team at the end of the season. So we're only 2 games away. If we win today, we're 1 game away from 500. We're right there. So that's a good thing. And I'm happy about that. I'm not saying I'm going to get too high or too low or whatever the case may be, because I'm very clear that at their peak this year, 500 would be realistic and a play-in. I still believe they'll make that 10th or 9th slot in the play-in. So
What?
yes, absolutely. I believe in what I see. And again, let me finish, Henry. Let me finish. The thing about it is, we have to be able to look at it not only in the context of, okay, because I know Henry's always making this argument. Yeah, but this team and this team. Listen, regardless, whether it's this team or we make trades to improve the team between now and then, at the end of the season, I expect them to hover around 500 and to compete for a play-in spot. And nothing's going to change my mind based on what I'm seeing right now. Now, if this were the Fizdale Knicks, that's a different story. But this is the Tibbs Knicks, and I believe in what he's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Henry. I know you got something to say. Say what you're gonna say.
1 point, man. My thing is this. You cannot be 500 and the 9th or 10th. 500 should get you at least 6. 500 should be 6th place.
We'll see at the end of the season.
And maybe 3rd in the, what are we? That's what I'm talking about. At 500, you should be 6th, 7th, or 8th.
We'll see at the end of the season.
Not 9th and 10th.
We could debate that, but we'll see at the end of the season. I'm not worried about it. Bottom line, we're going to make it. Dream, your mic is muted.
Sorry about that. I said one of the games is going to separate all those teams anyway, between 6, 9, 10, all that. It's just going to be a game, half game, or it's not going to be major.
I'm not going to argue tomato. Yeah. Come on, brother. What's up with that? Come on, Henry. You want to nitpick or tomato versus tomato? Get out of here. We got a new co-host in the house by the name of A.K. Tiller. So please, Des, just introduce yourself to everybody else. Welcome aboard and give us your take.
That's not A.K. Tiller. That's not A.K. Tiller. A.K. Tiller is my daughter.
Yeah. Okay, I confused.
This is my brother from another down below. That's Des.
All right, Des.
We're born together.
What's up, y'all? I got to make this quick because I'm at physical therapy.
Please.
And everything like this. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just caught the tail end of the conversation. I guess you guys are talking about the Knicks.
Yeah, the last game, the game against that we just blew Celtics out.
Oh yeah, well, my take on it, for what I see with the Knicks, I'm excited about them. Young cats, they got some hope. I hope they could sneak into the playoff. They could do some damage. They got a good coach finally after all these damn years, And so, play the young guys and see what you get. I want to see what Obi Toppin look like when he finally gets back into shape. I like his game. I've seen they playing Hicks a lot. So I like a lot of the young talent. They just got to know to coach them right and then see what you got, So from that moving forward, I'm kind of excited,
And what do you think about the Boston, game, the
Oh,
game they won yesterday?
Well, the Boston game, you got Tyson was out, right? Or Tatum was out. So
Tatum.
Yeah.
Tatum was out, so he's a major factor, and Kemba Walker's coming back from injury. So, it's a good win. It's a good win, but when Boston come to their full strength, they will see what you got. So listen, you're on a 5-game losing streak. Take what you get. A win is a win. So
Right.
always good to see that. And they got to play what's his name, the kid from Kentucky, Quigley at the point. He's a good find so far. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And what do you think about the Magic? I'm gonna get you in because you mentioned that you gotta, step away. So wanted to get your take on the Magic today.
Magic. To be honest, I'm not watching a lot of basketball and everything like this, but I say you can't worry about the opponent. You just got to play your game and play your best players. And if you play your best players with the best coach, you could offset whatever they bring to the table. I don't even know who they got on the Magic, to be honest with you. So I can't really give a true in-depth analysis of that team. I just know what I see from our team, and I'm excited. When they play right, I think they could hang there with anybody because they play defense, and which nobody plays in the league no more. So if you could hold people to probably like around 100 points, you're giving yourself a shot.
Yep.
Yeah. So give us a little bit more on what you see in different players. I know you mentioned Quickly, and you like what he's doing. Other players on the Knicks that you feel, are taking it to another level, are going to help us win more games. What are your thoughts?
I think they're finally starting to use Randall to his best potential. Last year, I didn't like what they were running. I like the way the Knicks are playing right now. They're not playing for just necessarily the three-pointer where they're starting the offense so far up beyond the three-point line, so you only have one option. With Randall, they're giving the ball where he could do three things. You could pass it. He's in this position where he could score. He could hit that mid-range jump shot. And he's got the same game where he goes left and he makes that spin back. So at 6'9", giving the ball like an elbow, 1 or 2 dribbles at the rim. So you got to honor him because he's a natural scorer. He's a big natural dude. So he's utilizing that. So I like what they're doing with him. And like I said, Quigley's good. Obi Toppin, I want to see what they're doing. And I always believe that, coaching makes a lot of difference. Play these guys where they stay within what they could do, and utilize what their strengths are instead of doing, to me, honestly, I know Bill and all this stuff. I'm an old school basketball player. These 3-point shooting, drive, and kick, I think it's garbage. They're watering down the game I'm like, all the principles that they're doing now, where I know basketball, this totally goes out. The coach will sit you on the bench for doing that crap. I'm like, if you drive in and they take the basket, everybody's coming down, chucking up 3-pointers. So as you look at the game now is not a lot of close games. People getting blown out by 20 or 30 because everybody coming down think they're Steph Curry. Not everybody got the talent to shoot, and nobody throws the ball in the post anymore and stuff like that. Say, listen, they come down and hit a 3, you get the ball down, you come down, you hit a 2, vice versa going back. If you're shooting a 3 in the NBA, it's what, 37%? So out of 10 possession, you're only going to hit 3 shots. You throw the ball down in the hole, you're going to score a higher percentage of time. So, you got to play to your strength, play to whatever talent you have. Nobody has Steph and all these jump shooters no more. As you see, we don't have no sniper on the Knicks anymore. You know what I mean? Okay, that's my therapist there, right, people. It's not a scripture on them, not like that.
You sure you're not in the brothel?
Yeah, listen, I live on a pension. There's only so much brothels I can be doing. So I think if they play within their strength, I think they'll be okay. So
okay.
That's my take on stuff.
All right. So Henry, go ahead, fire away, brother. You got the floor uninterrupted. Okay, we give you the floor uninterrupted so you can let us finish But we need to finish. So go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Henry. Can you hear us?
You're muted, Henry.
Okay, well, the only thing that is going to interrupt me is going to be when I hit a dead spot. You hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Well, now he hit the dead spot, I think.
He must have.
Yeah. Henry, you hit the dead spot. We'll come back to you. Hakeem, go ahead. You're muted, Dream.
So anyway, as far as this game coming up, the Magic, so they like to play 10 guys, 20 minutes apiece, regardless of output. Because they like to wear people down. They have one major threat starting, and then one major threat coming off the bench. The starting one is Vucevic. He basically leads them in all stats across the board, kind of like Jokic, the Joker from Denver, similar type player. Not as effective, but he is effective. I mean, he puts up his 20 points a game and his 8 or 10 rebounds and 3 assists. So he's very effective in their offense. We do have somebody to combat that because we have Randall for that. So that one-on-one is fine. And then all we have to worry about is Ross coming off the bench and trying to light it up or getting hot. If we stick with these two things in those two areas, we should be fine. The Magic, we're looking at this is the team that we look in the mirror and we see ourselves. They got black and blue on their jersey. We got black and blue on our jerseys, right? So basically, they started the season off hot. We came out 5-3 or something like that. They started off, I think, like 3-0, 4-1, something of that nature, just like Cleveland did. But they also lost 5 straight games. So this is a team very much dealing with the same type of things that we're dealing with, trying to figure their way out through the season, just the way we're trying to figure our way out through the season. And if we can jump on them early and repeat the Celtics' performance, we should be able to take this game from them. They've been held under 100 points 4 of the last 5 games. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to stifle them the same way. They're missing some guys. This is a statement game against those teams in the middle of the East. Not the top of the board. We beat a couple of guys at the top, but the guys that we want to, like I said a couple of shows back, we always talk about it. Those guys that were at the bottom, the Orlando, the Clevelands, the Atlantas, the Detroits, if they're going to start to make a move to the middle, we're going with them. Okay, we're not going to let them get away from us. So this is a game we need to take so that it lets the rest of the East know we mean business. We're going to be 6, 7, 8, whatever, 9. Like we said, it's going to be a game that splits all those teams. It's not really that thing. But in as far as those teams' effectiveness, we want to be one of those teams that people don't chalk up a W against right away. They're going to have to earn it against us like they used to in the past. Outside of that, it would be a good win for us. Because we got these 4 games coming up on the West Coast, so we're about to take that trip. So it'd be nice to snatch this up. We got a 2-game, win streak. We should have won the one on Friday, so we can't do nothing about that. But going forward, going into the West Coast swing, we want to take the easy win if we can. All right. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if we play the way we did yesterday and it carries over, this is one of those games we look at as like, yeah, we should be competitive and win this. Like, as fans this year watching our team, and with that said, I know we'll come around for scores again, but I'll kick it up top to Bill Shadamas.
All right, I just want to read. You see what's on the screen here? This is my daughter. She says she got here late, but do you guys think the Knicks did great or the Celtics just did horrible? I would say a little bit of both. It was basically a little bit of both. The Knicks didn't. Because of the fact that I have no complaints about any one individual player, basically, because everyone played within themselves and did, what was necessary to beat up on the Celtics. And the Celtics, though, although we contributed to them, they shot hard. They played horrible. They just did. And the fact that our defense helped to offset a lot of their shooting or whatever, we can take credit for that. But when they were open, they missed. However, there were a lot of times we didn't allow them to be open. So, we can take a little bit of the credit for that. So to answer your question, my daughter, it was a little bit of both. Now, with regard to Orlando, I expect us to get this. However, Vucevic, he's gonna do what he does. But like Dream said, we should be able to offset that with Randall. Randall should be able to offset Vucevic's play. Then you said we got to look out for Terrence for Ross coming off the bench. I agree, Ross, but also what's that kid's name? Fournier also, because Fournier has been known to give us problems in the past. So we got to look out for that brother as well.
I'm just not sure he's playing. That's it.
Oh, okay. So, well, if he's not playing, then I agree. This is a game that we should just take, and we're home, right? They're playing in the Garden.
Yeah,
we got to make home court mean something.
Yeah,
right.
Even during these times where there's no true crowds in there, we got to make it where folks think differently about coming to the Garden. They can't think, they're not in crowd and they're just the same old Knicks from before. No, even without the 20,000 plus in there screaming and chanting, when they come to the Garden, they're not walking out with a W. And that's the attitude that we got to have, even though the whole league is being played at a totally different element or space in time that it's ever been. We're in some rough times now. However, we got to stand up and make it count. You come in the Garden, you're going to leave with the L, not the W. So with that said, I'm going to slide it over to my left, hit my man Santana, and you better dunk it.
So I agree with you guys in terms of the players that we need to watch out for in Orlando. I just want to add two more players to that mix that we can't ignore or underestimate, and we have to take into account their athleticism as well. And that is, we got Cole Anthony. He got something to prove because the Knicks didn't pick him up.
I forgot about him.
The Knicks didn't draft him, and of course, he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder because he want to show that he's got game. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Aaron Gordon. The dunk master. That brother's very athletic. So keeping a body on him and keeping him away from the basket, that's gonna be a little challenge. So I don't see a blowout like Boston. Like we blew out Boston. I expect a tighter game, and it will be a competitive game because what I do see in Orlando, I do think they're a little bit more athletic than us, or at least they use their athleticism a little bit more. They'll run a little bit. In the Knicks, that's not their style right now because we don't have the horses to run. We can only pick our spots here and there with a few selected players like Obi and Toppin when they're in the game. But in terms of the Magic, you're starting with Gordon. Gordon is a high flyer. As a point guard, you see that guy running down court, you're going to feed him the ball because he's going to finish. He can run, he could jump, he could dunk. So, I don't want to underestimate him. I don't want to underestimate Cole Anthony. I don't want to underestimate the other players that you guys brought to the table. And also their coach, Steve Clifford. Okay? He's a defensive coach.
Yeah.
That's his strength as a coach. He came from Charlotte. He did that, and then he moved on to Orlando, and he carried that same repertoire. And as a matter of fact, him and Thibodeau are friends. So they know each other. So this is not going to be a cakewalk. This is going to be a nip and tug and pull and drag and bite and scratch and scream and kick. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be ugly. However, we need to have a little cushion. You know what I'm saying? We need to have a little cushion to be able to, mitigate some of the mistakes that come with a tight game. Because we're a young team and we're more likely to, make those mistakes, and we don't want it to cost us the game at the end of the game. So hopefully they build enough of a cushion to position themselves to win comfortably. But I'm not taking Orlando lightly in any way, shape, or form. because of those different points that I just raised. Okay, so now with that being said, I think Henry is somewhere where we can't get his signaling because right now we don't see him, and Bill is also in and out. So let me get a score, Dream. Let's just go around the horn in terms of getting a score. We got about 8-9 minutes, so let's just focus on the score now.
All right. I mean, score-wise, I think that if we just carry over what we did yesterday, it's something immediate that we can take into this game that we're going into today. This team is traveling. I don't know if they stayed in town because they just recently played the Nets. So I don't know if they stayed in town just to play us or if they did the back and forth. Either way, I think it might be an advantage for us. Even if they stayed, they're not home. They hung around waiting to play this game. And if that's the case, then they're just trying to get out of here and go home because it's an early game and they want to catch a flight and be back in Florida, resting in their bed. If they did the back and forth, then plays into our advantage again. They're staying in the hotels, a lot of erratic back and forth flight and all that stuff like that. So, these are all little things that we can play to our advantage, right? The Gordon, his effectiveness, he's been up and down lately, but I agree. I would love if Top End turned into, some of the skills that this guy displays. He jump out the building, he shoots threes sometimes, he's physical when he wants to be, so those are things that we now possess in our team in potential. That we always talk about potential. As far as the score, I think the Knicks wear them down. They keep it close in 3 quarters in the fourth quarter or the third quarter. One of those 2 quarters, I think the Knicks stretch it on them a little bit and just maintain that. So their final score is 109-96 Knicks.
Okay. Bill Stradamus.
Yes, sir.
Give us your, prediction for this game.
I had not considered certain people that you brought up.
So I dunked it?
You dunked it. You dunked it.
And I'm sorry for interrupting. Go.
No. You clearly dunked it. So you have the right to interrupt. I did not consider Cole Anthony. And although I thought about the other one. What's his name?
Gordon. Aaron Gordon.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm having.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Oh.
You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gordon, he's okay, but I don't think he has nothing for Randall. He's not going to be able to do nothing with Randall. The only thing is we got to keep him off the boards with regard to getting put back or just easy lobs that may come from Cole Anthony. But even with all of that being said, we're going to hold those dudes under 100. I'll give them 89. And I'll give us 111.
Okay.
111-89.
So here's my take on this on this game. We're going, second game of back-to-back, right? And they played a tremendous game in Boston. They played good defense. I do agree with Bill when he mentioned earlier that Tibbs should have taken out Mitch. He shouldn't have let him play that many minutes on the ankle or on the foot, considering that they had such command of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that way he could have rested him and have him better prepared for this game. So I think his minutes are going to be compromised in this game, where you would need him more in this game. And because of that, you also have other guys on the team, playing back to back. Now, of course, we have young guys. I have it in my neck. Okay, so in essence, my concern is, okay, usually when you have young guys, you shouldn't have any issues in terms of playing back-to-back, okay? But you do have some veterans on the team, too, that are, part of the core guys that start. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they perform today, considering they played some minutes yesterday. That being said, I'm going to say Knicks win 100. Magic end up with 80. I'm 95. And now, Henry, the floor is yours. You could say everything you want to say, and you could close the deal because you know we only got 4 more minutes left. So these 4 minutes are yours.
I don't have enough time to say everything I want to say. So I just
Well, you got 4 minutes then.
yeah, I got 4 minutes, and I need 3 of them to go set up myself over there and get my chips and my pom-poms so I can get to my favorite seat in the house and watch this game on my 85-inch, brand new Christmas gift. Anyway, 85 inches, yes. With your soundbar, Hakeem. So listen, it's very simple. I think I heard somebody say it already. This is a carryover game. We're all excited, about, having played a really good game against what was supposed to be a really good team. They were shorthanded. That's on them. We just gotta. This is one of those wins that we were supposed to lose, but we won. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back and forth. Now today we got a game that we're supposed to win, and it could be anything. But I trust the process, and I believe that the Knicks are going to continue to do better. Nostradamus, you read my mind. It's about time to start quickly, but I just don't want to push him out there so quickly. I think the minute that he's getting are great. Okay, 21. Let's build it up to 25. Let's give him, more and more responsibility. Get a few more games under his belt. Get that little bit of experience. Stop jumping in the air to pass the ball. I'm pulling my hair out. Look at this shit. Anyway, the kids are jumping in the air and then decided, oh shit, I ain't got nothing up here. What do I do now? No, stay on your feet. I still see a lot of good things about him, and that is making Peyton a better player. Okay, he's still being outscored every game by Quigley. So if we're talking about strictly offense, then Quigley is the man. But in running, the team, Peyton is still doing a better job. But if they start running, well, that's what they need to be. They need to be a running team, man. That's what Barrett is there for. That's what Obi is there for. That's what Quigley is there for. And with those 3 guys, it's like, get the rebound, we out. Everybody should be running. So now I see my man Bugsy jumped in, so I'm gonna give him a couple of minutes before we close out. Go ahead, Bugsy.
Wait. So hold on.
Score, Henry.
We need your score, Henry, and that's what we're gonna need from Bugsy. We're gonna need a score, and then we could pick it up in the chat because the game's gonna start soon.
Okay, so I got a score 105-90.
Who?
You need to ask?
Yes. We need you on the record, bro.
You're on the record for the Knicks today, man.
Okay.
105-90. What was yours?
Mine was
100 to 95.
195. And what was you? Bill Stradamus?
111 to 89.
Okay. And the Dream?
196.
Sorry about that.
109.96. All right, we're good. I wrote them all down.
Now we need Bugsy, cousin Bugsy, not cousin Brucey, but cousin Bugsy.
What's up, gentlemen? What's up?
What's up?
We need more.
First of all, Bill, the pom-pom stay in the garbage. That's number 1. Number 2, don't get so excited on a win like that when there's nobody there and there's a depleted team.
Oh, that's our problem now.
All right?
There go Dr. Doom. Go ahead.
That's all right. I'm a realist.
You're a realist?
I'm a realist.
Okay.
All right? And the facts are it was a depleted team. If it wasn't a depleted team and they won, then you can hang your hat on it. But it wasn't. We will see tonight. Hopefully their heads are back up and they're not having their heads down. I see your boy Obi did a little bit of work. I'm happy to see that.
Mhm.
Because as I told you, he hasn't showed us anything because he hasn't played.
Right.
So we don't know if he's going to be a good rookie or a bad rookie. You know, we still need trades. You know that. You know how I feel about that. I've been posting all kinds of things. If we can get the garbage man that played in the Rucker, get him.
So,
Okay,
so
Michael Bloomberg, give us a score.
what's your score? Cause
My score,
Bloomberg.
I'm going with my team. I gotta go with my team. I say 103.97.
103, 197. Who?
Knicks.
Oh, well, you come in here, you trash them, and now they're your team too?
I'm a realist. Listen, if you can't get on your team, nobody else can.
he said it.
Hold it. Let me put this straight and plain and simple for you. Nobody can get on your girl or curse your girl out but you, correct?
He dropped the mic on that.
Anybody else try it, you be beating they behind.
Mhm.
All right then. So nobody can get on the Knicks but us Knicks fans.
That's it. All right, fellas. We're gonna close it up now because you know the Knicks are on right now as we speak. So
Okay.
Henry, you know, close us out. Send us home.
So Nick Nation. Thank you for joining us on yet another episode of Nick Dreams. Looking forward to this next contest. It's going to be another beatdown. I'm not going to say who's going to get beat down. And remember, once a Nick,
Always a Nick.
Always.
All right, fellas, enjoy the game. We'll talk later. We'll talk throughout the game.
All right.
All right.